Today we're going to talk about the minnow tank, how I set it up, all the little details if you want to do it yourself, some of the things to think about that might work for you. I'll tell you what worked for me, give you some idea of the cost of doing it, and some of the things you should think about. I think the first and obvious thing to think about is how much space do you have, right? For me, I have a bit of room here on the side of my house that I get to play with, but maybe you have a lot more room than that, or maybe you have less room. So you got to find the right one for you. I would recommend, if you are just getting started, to start small. This is 15 gallons. It's plenty. It's not expensive. So far for me, it's easy to maintain. It is what I consider low maintenance. It's not no maintenance, but it's definitely low maintenance. And you can do it on a budget. I decided on the Tuff stuff, the 15-gallon stock tank from Chewy. I believe I got it online. You can also get it at Tractor Supply. It's a good size, it's a good tank, and happy with it. For substrate, I'm using pebbles that I had left over from another project. They're pretty inexpensive, they're good size, so I just decided to go with these. You can also go with sand. I've used Quikrete in the past. Pretty inexpensive, also a good option. I don't remember exactly what sponge filter I got. I pulled it off Amazon, but figure maybe $5 to $7 if you just wanted to buy one, or you can buy multiple packs. One recommendation is if you have existing tanks, then add in 1 or 2 extra sponge filters. That way, when you add a new tank, you have a filter that you can just take from an existing tank and put in the new tank. You have all the good bacteria, and you can get that tank cycled much more quickly than you would otherwise. For air pumps, this is the one I'd recommend, high top. I'm using it right now on the Minnow tank. Pushes a lot of air, has 2 outlets, comes with air stones, and it's very quiet, so highly recommended. Plant selection, optional, and it's up to you. I have other tanks, so it's easy for me just to pull plants to put into the Minnow tank. I think at a minimum, if I were to only go with one, if that were my only option, I would choose the red root floaters. They do pull a lot of excess nutrients out of the water and helps condition the water. So I would go with those. They do grow very rapidly, so you want to be careful not to let them take over the tank. I find that I scoop them out of my Minnow tank as well as the guppy tank pretty much every 3 days in the summer, just to make sure that they don't completely cover the tank and reduce oxygen exchange with the surface water. But yeah, I like plants. I've been using plants in all my tanks. Perhaps I have a bit of a plant problem, you could say. But yeah, I think at a minimum, if only one plant were available to you, I'd go with the red root to start. And then, yeah, go from there. I obviously like to add plants, and I continue to kind of change them in and out over time. It's just something that I find enjoyable. Plants Part 2. You can see I added 2 plants, the bluebells, which is a plant that I've not had before, as well as the fiber optic rush. Not had that. So the bluebell I just put right in the tank as is. I did put a pond tab in just to fertilize, and then with the rush I split that into 2, and it's been growing really well. I also put root tabs in there just to keep the growth going. So yeah, this is where I ended up on the tank. I have the red root floaters in there, some parrot feather, and then I have these 2 larger plants. I like the way it looks for now. We'll see how it works out as these plants grow. Then one other thing I have in here are the dragon stones. I have 2 in there. I had them left over from another tank, but they basically look like this. I have a couple of extra pieces. I have indoor aquarium that I had them in, but I've taken them out. So I think these are probably $20 to $30 on Amazon if you want to get them, or you can go to your local fish store. They may have them for about the same price, but I like them. I like how they look. They've got lots of surface area for bacteria, so they also are a benefit. But yeah, they're a nice addition to the tank. So yeah, this is where we ended up. I would say anywhere from $120 to $180 maybe, depending upon plants And if you wanted to go with Dragonstone, or if you wanted to upgrade the substrate to an aquarium rock versus the pea pebbles that I use. A lot of different options, but suffice it to say, for under $200 you can have a nice little tank. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. It's a good size, easy to maintain. One thing I forgot to add was the heater. So throw in another $30 or so for a heater. I have a Fluval. Actually, no. I have a Marineland in this one. I have Fluval heaters in here. Maybe I should talk about heaters in my next one. I've had mixed results with heaters, but this Marineland heater I have in here has been doing really well. No problems at all. And the brand new Fluvals I have in here have actually been doing pretty good. So anyways, so add an extra $30. So figure $200. You could have yourself a nice little tank. And then, yeah, from there, it depends on what fish you want to put into it. And all these fish cost a little bit different. I went with the minnows. I want to say the minnows are maybe $3 each. So pretty reasonable. So yeah, whichever way you decide to go, good luck. It's a great, it's been a great tank so far.